Hey guys, we're still in Jamestown here, and we are going to check out the Powhatan village. They've made a replica of the Powhatan village of the Native Americans here in Jamestown, Virginia. So let's go see how they lived in 1607. Let's see. This is their homes. Let's see.
How you make this boat? There's different ways, different cultures, different ways to make the boats. But this is one that the natives in this area were using at the time, where they take fire and burn out the center of it, and then chop it out, and then burn some more, chop some more. That's what.
And that's how they make a canoe? Wow.
That's how the Indians make the canoes? Are these benches?
No, I wouldn't sit on them if I were you.
This is very cool. So this is a canoe. So they burn the middle and then they chop it out and then burn it and chop it out, and that's how they hollowed it out to make the canoe. How cool is that?
But how does it float in the water?
Well, trees will float. You cut down a tree behind you and throw it in the water, it'll float. But the tree,
Let's see how they've already done this one. It does hold water. So this is, this one's already been.
only, I don't know, maybe just the top part of it.
How cool is that?
The middle of it, you're taking out a lot of weight, so it'll rise higher and lift it up.
Very neat.
Cool. Not cooler than the
Thank
other
you.
Not cooler than the other boats, but still cool.
This is what they did. Like, there's a vent on the top of the roof, and then inside here, let's see how they, what their home looked like inside. Oh, there's the bed. They've got animal skins. Those are how they kept warm. The nets that they used for fishing. Oh, there's a bed up top so that they could have kind of like a bunk bed, guys. Kind of like a bunk bed. The squirrels chasing each other back there.
Dog bane. And dog bane and soap and peel and all the fibers in here. Almost like
Different. Look at the fire pit.
Alright. Little kids younger than them can make cord. You take your material, divide it in two like a fork. Then you twist. That's why 3-year-old, 4-year-old kids can do this. You take it and you twist one side for a few inches, and then that's the base here. You fold it over. And then that's the left one. Now the right one we gotta twist. And you twist it and fold it and twist it and fold it, so little kids can go right down their legs and take this and roll it just like that on their leg, on their bare skin. And as you go along, you see I'm making a cord. So little kids can do this. And you need cord to tie everything together. There are no joints, nails, screws, bolts, those things. Don't have them. So you can see big stitching on the buildings. That's holding the mats on. If you look at the mats, it's like every other stitch, because you're taking your bone needle, you go up and down. So 3-4-year-old kids can help mom stitch mats over here. And these are waterproof plants. You get them down by the river.
So you could make a waterproof mattress.
You have an aerodynamic waterproof home. That's right.
So they
And
tied
I'm not
everything.
going to go under something that's not waterproof either. If it starts raining or snowing where you are, you'll probably get all wet. But me, I'm under here and I'll stay dry. When it gets really bad, like that one down there, you can see one hanging. We could put the mats on the side and make almost like a tent-like environment. So you can see in just not even a minute that this strong thing is basically holding your home together. And it's it increases the strength as you twist it. You got a question, Iron Warrior.
Actually, what if the rain comes this? What if the rain comes this way and gets you wet?
Well, then I go in the back.
Yeah.
Or if that's my house, you know what I can do? Go in the house. And that's were you out on Monday? Was it Monday, Sunday, or Monday?
Monday it was really
Oh,
really
it was
yucky.
nasty out here. Yeah.
Yes.
There's that big building in the back, and the very first one down there, that's our program house.
Hmm.
We actually started a fire in there. It was so nasty. It was like rain and then snow and sleet and rain and snow.
Yeah.
So we didn't even work outside at all. We sat in there all day. We put the mats down. We blocked it off because of COVID.
Yeah.
And we sat down there and basically ate all day.
I'm sure you didn't have
have
many
a
visitors on Monday, right?
Are those the wolf and the fox? Are those real animals?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
we
don't
don't
wanna
have plastic stuff out here. These aren't faux furs. They're all real furs. Yeah, this one I call
And that's
Foxy
how they
around
kept.
my
That's
neck.
how they kept warm back
And that's,
then.
yeah, you see, Mom's got a sweater on. You got a sweatshirt. Yeah.
I don't want to wear
And look, her clothing, her dress is made out of animal skin
Yep,
also.
that's deer. So a
That is-
deer.
that
So
is-
when you kill the deer, you take the outside off. In between the trees, we have a hide. And my other colleague coming in, he's got one on right now.
And they used everything on the animal.
Oh
they
yeah, we're not
used,
going to let anything go to
Yeah,
waste
they used
around.
the
They
bones
use the
for
meat, they use
Yep.
the
bones.
bones.
That's correct.
They used absolutely everything. The skin. So when
Puffies
when
make glue.
yeah. See.
Yep.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Are you checking out our midden? That's what you would call a garbage dump today.
Oh.
MIDDEN. So that's the stuff that we're not
These
using right now.
oysters bite.
Well, that's not an oyster, that's a clam.
They bite.
They
What?
bite,
You
yeah,
said
you
they
put your
bite.
finger in between the two.
That's funny. So they called it a midden. There's
Midden,
animals.
MIDDEN.
Look at the animal bones.
Yep, we got some deer bones there.
How cool is that? Don't throw them.
If you made the D's into T's, it would be mittens.
Oh, very cool.
The lady said they used like really rare things and they
That's very cool. Look at this.
Yep, the purple. That's my favorite.
And
Yeah,
then
you'll take the.
see this.
We're gonna
This is
eventually, bring
looks like they were cooking here. So they got some squash, and where they would have a fire, so they were cooking. They cook all this firewood. Well, it looks like they're drying a skin over here. So they dry it out so they can use it as a blanket or a rug. Hello.
Ma'am, how are you?
I'm good. How are you? This is a virtual
you, young
field
lady?
trip.
I'm a boy, I just have long hair.
Ah, well, we have two barbers out here. Would you like to meet them? They're sitting up in that tree there. There's two bald eagles sitting up in the tree right over there. Did you see them?
No.
I'm serious. They're right right here. There you go. From here you can see them. See the top of the tree?
Oh, I see
Now, young
him.
man over there on the left, that's the man. He's a little bit bigger.
Let's see if we can.
And over on the right is the female.
The
She's
eagle?
smaller, but she
That's
has
a
longer
bald eagle.
wings for some reason. And I don't know why female eagles have longer wings than male.
Maybe
This is the
so
eagle.
if like a if a predator
Very
then
cool.
he can fly away faster.
Yeah, maybe, because the
possible.
men are fighters, so maybe the men fight, and the ladies have longer wings so they can fly away faster. That's a good idea. I don't know. Never thought about that. But their nest is over in that pine tree right
Oh, how
right
neat.
there. And they usually have anywhere from 2 to 3 babies a year.
That's
And
so
they
neat.
mate for life.
So that's a couple.
Yep.
Very cool.
Yeah, it's cool. You can get as close to them as you want. People don't bother them anymore. They're used to
They're used to everybody coming through
They
here.
are. They are.
That's very neat.
definitely.
And what do you do in this village?
Well, today, normally I'm not in the village. Normally I work in the outreach department, which means I go to the schools and teach programs.
Oh, well, this is a
Now-
field trip.
Huh?
This is a field trip.
Oh, cool. Right now, I can't we teach virtually right now. So 3 days a week I'm in our studio and I bring classes to the kids virtually over the internet. 2 days a week I'm out here, and today I'm doing some cooking over there. We've got some venison cooking in a pot and some fresh vegetables that the Powhatans grow, corn, beans, and squash. And they usually have something cooking all day long so that if men are coming in from the hunt, they can have something to eat. If ladies are building a house, or if they are tending to the field over there where they're growing corn, beans, and squash, they can come over and get something to eat right away and then go back to work. So there's always something going on in the kitchen here.
So there's always a person cooking.
Well, there's always food cooking and usually a person tending the fire. So yes, each family has their own kitchen and each family has their own house. Have you been in that one down there?
No.
That one's open. You can walk through there
Oh, cool.
and see some of the cool things that Powhatans would have had and what they would have used.
Nice.
Very interesting.
Thank you.
Sure.
Let's go see. Okay, let's go see it. Let's go see the. Let's look at that. It's the fire, and they're cooking. Oh, look at he's cooking. I can see in his pot. He's got some yummy vegetables in there. Look at that.
Hello.
He's cooking. So let's go see. We get to go in one of their huts.
That one right there, you can, yes. The others, no.
Look at this. Okay.
Virus, you have to keep them closed.
We gotta come in here. Oh wow, look. And that's a bench
I don't
where you
want to
can see. And then there's like a bunk bed up there. Or a storage area. There's their oh look, arrows. Arrows. This was their house. It's not scary. It's their house. This is where they would sleep. And then there's storage and there. The baskets they've made. This is their fire in the center. Okay, and this is like the tools and stuff that they would use, or their headdresses and decorations. This is the door. It's tied up right now. This is fishing nets that they use to catch fish.
And look, remember she said it kept you really warm? So they would lay on all of these.
The real
And then
fur.
they have a little fire in the middle.
Owen!
Very cool.
Oh.
Okay.
Knock it off. Knock it off.
And this is- So I'm gonna go over here and see. That's they use this to carry things. Oh, look at this. This is a baby carrier. So they put the baby in there and tie the baby to it, and then they would carry the baby on their back. How cool is that? And the different things that they would use. And they used these mats to cover the roof, and there's a vent for that vent right there is basically their chimney. So when they had, it's right above the fire. So when they had the fire going, they had the vent open and the smoke would go out so that their house didn't fill up with smoke. Very cool. That's very neat. Let's go see what this person over here is making. Somebody over here is making something. So we got.
Hello.
Abigail, mask. Put your mask on. Oh, you got it? Okay. Good girl.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
Are you coming in that way?
Well, we just came through this way.
Oh, okay.
And we're coming
then I
this
didn't
way.
see you. Yeah, you've entered a recreation of a Paspahe town. And the houses are called Yahgans.
Oh, cool.
So I don't know whether did you get a chance to go in the first one?
We just went in it just
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, well,
That's the only one you can go in?
yes, that's the only one because of COVID.
Yes.
You have others closed up. Hi, you're entering a recreation of a Paspahe town.
Oh.
And the houses are called Yahgans. You can go inside.
Very
And
cool.
we have interpreters to talk to.
Very cool. Say thank you.
I'm not making anything. I'm trying to untangle string. to finish the basket.
Oh,
I'm
very
working on a
nice.
basket, but the string is all tangled up. You know how things get in knots? Well, that's what I'm
Yes.
dealing with.
Oh my goodness,
Yes,
that's gonna be
somebody-
that's gonna be a task then.
Yeah, it's all.
I love your
messed up.
hat.
Thank you.
And is that a real
It's a real animal. Do you know what animal it is?
I don't, I'm
Lives
trying to
in the
figure out.
water,
I'm
likes
looking.
to play.
Oh, is it an otter?
It's an otter.
Oh, that is so
Yeah,
neat.
one of the interpreters
I
many
see
years
its
ago.
nose.
Yeah.
It's on
Yep.
the side of your head.
Yeah.
It's like the whole
Like you
yeah.
have little bunny rabbit things on your head.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Yes, those are cute.
Very nice. Thank you.
What's
welcome.
around your neck, an otter? Or
This is something that likes to eat carrots.
Oh,
A
bunny.
bunny?
A
That's a
bunny.
bunny rabbit.
Very
Because the
nice.
leather we wear is not warm at all, so the Powhatans keep warm by wearing furs.
Oh, okay. The leather is durable but not warm.
Just a covering.
Right.
basically.
Huh. Very cool. Thank you.
You're welcome.
the
Let's go
other
see what they're
ladies
doing
are
over here.
wearing a fox and a wig.
Hi. Oh, it looks like they're making something over here. Ah. Look, hi, how are you? Good, thank you. They look like they're making
A
some.
couple different kind of rope-related projects. I'm actually working on making some rope, and then Alex is making a bag, which is one of the many different things you can use it for. Rope is going to be used for almost everything in Powhatan society, at least in some way, shape, or form. And so it's a very important tool for the Powhatans. You're going to be learning how to make this rope at a very young age, probably 3 or 4. Really, as soon as you can learn how to make rope, you're going to be learning how to make it. It's going to be used for everything, as I mentioned, and because of that, there's a lot of different fibers and plants that you can process for rope that'll each work better or worse for certain projects. Right now I'm processing some dogbane. Dogbane is a member of the milkweed family. You can also use other milkweeds. They'll give you a nice soft silky fiber that when all the way processed down is kind of almost hair-like in texture. It's good for things that are close to the skin. But then you'll also see plants like stinging nettle. The inner bark from certain trees can be used, like tulip poplar, pawpaw, basswood, maple, cedar. A lot of those are going to be a little more rigid, don't have a lot of flexibility to them, but they'll hold up pretty well and will work well for, let's say, lashing and keeping the houses together. And then you'll also see plants like yucca being used for rope. It's that green spiky plant that's growing around. If you scrape off the wax from the outside of that leaf, there's a load of good fiber inside each one of those leaves and fronds. And that's pretty rot resistant, so that's perfect for a lot of your fishing equipment, like nets and fishing line and such. So there's all different sources that you can make this rope from.
So it's all plants.
You can also make rope out of animal fibers, like tendon and things like that. They tend to be used for smaller projects that need to be stronger,
Oh.
like arrowheads and, oh, not arrowheads, bowstring and thread and things like that.
What's that with the leather and like with the sticks? What's that for?
So that is what part of the process of tanning leather. So do you know what tanning something means? What is it to tan leather? What is
It's like to dark it. So like people.
Oh, you're talking about tanning your skin. But tanning leather is a different thing.
It's a little different, yeah, although it is somewhat related. It's the skin of an animal. And what we're doing is we're taking it and turning it from a rawhide or something that's very tough and very stiff and turning it into something soft and flexible, what we call leather. And there's a few different ways to tan leather. The way the Powhatan would have done it is a style called brain tanning. So what that means is they would take the skin, they would stretch it up in a frame like that, and you'd want to clean it off. So you want to get all the hair scraped off, and the epidermis and the hypodermis, and all the different layers of skin scraped clean. And then you would soak that skin in a solution made of water and deer's brains. Brain is mostly fat, and that softens up the skin to the point where you can pull it and stretch it and break it apart and kind of keep it moving while it's drying out. And that will allow it to become something more flexible.
So they
After
had
it's
to,
dried out, there's one last step. You have to smoke it, and that'll lock in the pores so your brains don't leak out. And that will actually make it darker, the color will change. But then you've got a soft and flexible leather.
But they actually had to touch deer's brains.
You do actually have to touch deer's brains, absolutely, yeah.
That's disgusting.
More disgusting than any other part
Is
of the
doing brain tanning kind of like a deer zombie? Kind of like being a deer zombie?
Not at all, no. The deer is already dead and it doesn't come back to life. But
just
what's
they're using
happening
the
is
pieces.
it's basically just a bunch of fat. There's fat all over your body, or on a deer there's not much fat, but the highest concentration of it is in the brain. And so that softens up the skin. It's like a lotion.
And then they use it to make clothes.
You can use it to make clothing, absolutely.
Does it make you smart?
No, it does not make you smart. Only as smart as a deer.
Very interesting questions. Thank you very
Not
much.
a problem, not a problem at all. Yeah, if you have any other questions like that, it's got nothing to do with what I'm doing over here, please feel free to ask. We're over here happy to talk.
Thank you.
Do you have farmers here?
Yeah, absolutely. So the Powhatan are going to be growing about half their food in the form of corn, beans, and squash, and all the women are the farmers. So the men would be hunting and fishing, and the women would be farming crops like corn, beans, and squash.
Do they have candy?
Not really, no. So
Not back then?
not back then, not the Powhatan. So what is candy usually made of? What's a big ingredient of candy?
Sugar.
Sugar, right? Sugar isn't actually native to the Americas. It gets brought over later on by Europeans. They start growing it in big plantations in the Caribbean.
And
It's very deadly stuff growing sugar. A lot of people die growing sugar. But
Why?
because it's a lot of hard labor in the hot sun. And so a lot of people would die while processing that. A lot of enslaved people would die while processing it. But the Powhatan and other people before things arrived, they would have never had any sugar. And so they wouldn't have had it in their diet. Instead, probably the sweetest things that you would have would be things like berries.
And that would
Powhatan
probably be a
gather-
treat.
Yeah, so you can gather berries from the wild.
That
One of my
would be-
favorite treats that we cook out here is cornbread dumplings that's boiled in a soup of berries and cherries. And it
Ooh.
kind of creates this outer crust that's very sweet from that flavor. It's really tasty.
That sounds
back
tasty.
then, did they only eat vegetables?
Not at all. So the Powhatan diet is quite varied. Not only having vegetables, but you also have meats like deer and bear and turkey. You've got fish and crab and clam and oysters, as well as berries and things like that, which isn't technically a fruit, but it is a vegetable.
So
Or it
they
is a plant.
eat anything that's edible?
Well, there are some things that were technically edible the Powhatan would avoid. Was it the artichoke or
No, it was wild onions.
wild onions?
Although that could also be possible that that's the one person that they talk to just doesn't happen to like onions.
Yeah.
English just assumed that none of the Powhatans like onions.
So, yeah, sometimes it's hard to know for certain. If there's one person who's writing about one individual, there might be applying their particular tastes to everybody.
Right.
Like you.
Yeah.
Yeah, is there something
I
you don't like to eat?
onions.
You don't like onions?
No.
She doesn't like any fruit.
Any fruit?
Yeah.
But
this
she
is-
will eat.
But back
she
then
will
she
eat
might have.
apples.
You eat
Apples the
apples?
only fruit that we can get.
Oh,
rid of.
unfortunately, there's no apples here either.
But, see,
Apples get brought over by Europeans too.
a lot
No
of our
sugar,
food.
no apples, no wheat, no nothing like that.
A lot of
No
our food
wheat.
gets.
No wheat, no.
So they can't make
Everything
bread?
Not necessarily. Like I said, we have corn, right?
Cornbread,
make
yes,
cornbread.
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 See? Yes.
But it's not going to be as fluffy as like the cornbread we think of today.
No.
What do you guys say?
Thank you.
Thank
You're very
you.
welcome. Yeah.
Thank
Oh,
you.
wait, and the farmer and the candy thing.
Okay.
I got a joke.
Okay.
What's the farmer's favorite candy?
I don't know. What is the farmer's favorite
Jolly
candy?
Rancher.
Ah,
Jolly.
That's funny.
Because farmers are like
I
ranchers.
get it. I get it.
Thank
All right.
you.
Well, you folks enjoy the rest of your day now.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye. I learned it from Archer. I got that joke from Archer. And Archer is not an Archer.
What was over here on this bridge over here? Did you guys see that?
What's the,
Let's
why,
go look on this bridge
why-
and see what's over
why
here.
do they have clay faces?
It's like a hunting thing, though. What is that called? A hunting perch. So they'd hide up there and then like, and then they
Would
had
they have a bed up there?
out of the weather, and they were able to find their animals that would run
they
by.
have a bed?
No, that's it. They just sit up there and wait for the animals to come by. Little squirrel.
Up there, they probably set a bed up there, and they would wait for the animals to come, and they would keep them dry, and then they would be up above them, so they could hunt ants.
So the animals didn't know that they were watching them. Oh, we can't come out here. It's just just a little bridge.
Closed.
That's alright. It happens.
Well, there's the eagles.
Oh, we can see the eagle's nest up there, though. We saw the eagles. They're sitting over here in this tree, and there's their nest up here. And then there's, where is she? There's the one eagle. And those are bald eagles. That's our national bird. Very cool. All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed these field trips that we made. And
Bye.
huh?
See the clay faces real quick.
Oh, I'm sorry. We're gonna add one more thing. There's some clay faces over here.
And they're on stone poles.
Oh.
And we can ask the lady that's right next to them, what they are for and what.
Why they're there?
Yeah.
Everyone said it might be where they work.
That's possible.
Yeah.
Let's go see what she says. Oh, that's neat. It's a totem.
Which one looks the happiest?
I don't know. They don't
That
think-
one looks the happiest. This one looks the happiest.
And it's from a painting by a man by the name of John White. And way back in 1585, he painted that, and his painting shows Indians dancing around a circle.
Oh, okay.
So what kind of ceremony do you think it might have been used for?
Church? Like their religion? Yeah.
Well, it could be, you know.
Could be.
Powhatans had no written language. So it's whatever you want to make it. We don't know. It could have been harvest for sun, rain, religion, what you said. You know, we just don't know. But we know Powhatans had something like that.
Maybe to curse somebody.
To what?
To curse.
To curse someone. I
Maybe
think
it's
that sometimes
worship.
they believed if they danced, they could bring the rain.
Well,
Right, so-
sure, I mean, we know they had rain dances. I mean, you
Yeah.
think about that.
I
Yeah.
think it's a spot where they
This
worship.
is pretty neat. It's
Okay.
possible too,
Well,
Owen.
you know, you could be right, but the faces, the 7 poles, we have no idea. We just don't know.
That was very cool. It's just a whole circle of faces all the way around, and then they would dance in the center. So I should go out here. They would dance in the center of the poles. Very cool. Okay. Now I'm gonna say goodbye. I hope you guys enjoyed all these virtual field trips, and maybe we'll see some of these later on this year also. I'll talk to you. Bye.